Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel today. In this video, I'm going to be showing my GCSE experience in terms of what subjects I took, what revision methods I've used, and hopefully give you guys some tips on how you can pass these subjects. Leave a like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, make sure you follow all my social medias in the description below if you want to. Let's get to it. So the GCSE subjects I took were English, Science, Maths, Humanities. I only took 4 subjects because my school wasn't that big. And when your school isn't that big, you don't have that many classrooms and you don't have that many teachers. And I took entry-level certificates in English, Maths, Science, IT, Food Studies and Music. Entry level is basic qualification, which I mean, it's kind of useless, but okay. I took functional skills subjects in Maths and IT. So if you guys want to know my real grades, I got a 2 in Maths, 4 in English, a C in Science, a D overall in Humanities specifically. I got an F in Geography, a C in History, a B in RE and a D in my Geography controlled assessment. In Science specifically, I got an E in Biology and C for Chemistry, Physics and Controlled Assessment. That is pretty much the specifics. So let's start off with English. English is my favourite subject, and what I mainly did was I just went to the extra English classes that was after school. I think it was every Tuesday or so, and I had a really good teacher. I'm not going to mention her name because obviously privacy reasons, but she was a really good teacher. Even though when I was like in year 7, year 8, I had minor issues with her, but then eventually I just gotten used to the teacher. And then when my old English teacher left, she was kind of the head of English now, so I got used to that. The main revision that I kind of did for English was just to simply go to extra revision classes in English and just make sure I brush up on my language skills, if you will. We mainly only did English language, we didn't do literature, which I mean, I kind of would have liked to do literature in a way, just because we didn't have enough teachers. The next subject, Maths. Oh, that subject really messed me over. We were supposed to have extra revision classes for maths, but my assistant head, who was my maths teacher at the time, was extremely busy, so that never happened. And the only main bit of maths revision I kind of did, if you will, was my maths. My maths is shit. On maths is really good, especially for predicted papers. I would definitely advise to use on maths to do predicted papers, and that way it could help you look up at the areas where you've gone wrong, and that way you can use Maths Watch to watch those specific topics, and then you can revise for them. And that's kind of the method that I use. I'll talk about maths in more detail later on in the video. Let's move on to the next subject, Science. Oh, I hated Science so much. The main revision I used was those little revision booklets. That was it, those revision workbooks and guides. I just mainly used the revision guide, just looked at the questions at the bottom and, you know, answered them. That's it. And somehow I passed Science for no apparent reason. Humanities. I didn't really do any revision for Humanities. Geography, I kind of expected to get a shit grade because honestly, I hated Geography. I didn't see any relevance of Geography, to be honest. I didn't care too much for it. History and RE, I was quite surprised to get a B in the RE paper. And I don't even like RE. I really don't, just not that interested in it. So somehow I got a B in RE and C history, which is quite a surprise. So those were the GCSE subjects I took, and now let's go over some of the things that you could do to help you rise. First thing, I know it's a bit boring and it's a bit outdated, and I know teachers will always say use past papers. Depending on where you sit on this, if you really think that past papers will help you, then use past papers. If you don't think so, then just ignore this first solution. Second solution, if you will, is doing predicted papers. Now this will be especially relevant for GCSE maths because it gives you an idea on questions that could pop up in the real thing. Do a predicted paper for your year, and then when you finish, look at what percentages that you got for each topic, which each topic would have had a question in it, and if you see anything that's less than 75%, then that means you need to work on them. If you get a 75%, then that means you're good, but a couple of practice questions wouldn't do you no harm, and 100% pretty much means you don't need to go over that topic. And it kind of helps you really think on the topics that you don't really need to revise for, and it just saves you some time and hassle. Third thing I would suggest is using workbooks, so more specifically those little revision workbooks and guides. It could help you. I mean, it sort of helped me for my science subject. You could use workbooks if you want. Attending extra revision classes. I think that is pretty key to getting you a really good grade if you attend extra revision classes. Now, the reason why I say this is because I pretty much passed my English and Science from going to extra revision classes. That was it. So that is quite surprising. Even though I think I was the only person who passed English in my year, which is quite... Those are like the main 4 areas where you could use to help you revise. I used the predicted paper method. So because I had to retake my maths when I went to college, it took me up until January of this year to essentially keep going with my maths, because honestly, maths was just a nightmare. The annoying part is, in those lessons, we had lessons on Pythagoras' theorem, trigonometry, simultaneous equations, and I'm like, I've never been taught those, ever. And you may be thinking, what? Oh, I've only was being taught the basic algebra and stuff. I was never taught stuff on Pythagoras, I was never taught trigonometry, I was never taught simultaneous equations, I was never taught equation on a straight line and stuff. I was never taught those. It was quite interesting how I mainly revised for last year's resits, if you will. Sorry guys, I think hay fever's sort of coming in today. I used on maths to do a predictive paper, look at where I went wrong, and then I'll just revise those topics. And that way, I don't need to waste loads of time and I can just only focus on the ones that I'm doing shit at. And it really helped actually, because when it came to November 2019 resits, I pretty much started the paper from back to front. You may be thinking, what? How can you do paper from back to front? There is a point to this. When you do your traditional front to back, when you're going for a paper, by the time you get to the harder questions, you're going to feel exhausted and tired and you don't feel like answering those last questions. And that's why people tend to either not answer the last few questions, or they just do one sentence and that's it. Or they only do one tiny bit of working out. Whereas if you do back to front, in that way you can really focus on the hard questions. And when you get to the easy questions, it's just like a little breather kind of thing. Your harder questions are your running pace. And then when you get to the easier questions, like, you know, your 1 markers, 2 markers, that is more of your little downtime. So I would suggest doing papers from back to front, especially for maths, because obviously maths likes to fuck people over. If you're doing maths GCSE'S, which I'm guessing you will, just do your papers from back to front. Trust me, it's gonna help. That's how it made me pass my maths, thank God. I thought I would never get rid of maths, but finally I passed it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed those little 4 tips that I gave you for those who are going into year 11 or into year 12. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye for now.